Welcome to the Super Speedway.
Well, what can you tell us what you know?
The first thing I can tell you is we did a terrible job prepping the track and full of mud. There was nobody here to pack the track, so we all look like a bunch of bozos coming into pit because we don't know how to prep the track. And then we don't get the lucky dog for whatever reason with two cars on pit road, and then we got run over by I don't know who ran us over at the end.
After you got your lap back, did you feel like it was
I had a
kind
great
of
car.
adequate?
I had a great car. The racetrack was fine. They just did a terrible job to start with. They've done this before, but obviously it doesn't look like it.
Will you go speak with them or say something like, hey?
You can't talk to them.
You might be able to.
Might be, but if I had my choice, we would be doing this anyway.
Welcome to episode 232 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Monday, April 18th, 2022. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush, with a little help from a salty Kevin Harvick. How's it going, James?
His last sentence is everything I wanted out of it.
Yeah, I figured that you might share some sentiments there.
Oh, man. How was your Easter?
Good. Got to see some family, got to have some fun, and got to sit through some rain delays on Easter night.
Oh, nothing better than a rain delay on Easter night.
Right. Two of them.
Oh, my. A few. Yeah.
Just track prep delays, James. That's what those were.
Yes. Yep, that's it.
Hey, Easter Sunday, man, that God said the track needed more moisture, and he took care of it. So
He definitely. I mean, that's taking the positive spin on it,
right?
Because I felt like he was angry.
Yeah, I think he made us a better track than what we would have had otherwise.
Probably right.
I mean, I think
right.
it threw everybody for a loop because everybody was expecting it to get dry, and it never did.
Yep. That's right. And we had a thing. There was a race.
Yeah.
It was good. Eric, we do this podcast because we love the sport, right?
Right.
I'm having a hard time.
Hey, so Saturday night, at some point, I was watching a truck race, and I was just enjoying it for a couple minutes, and I'm like, and this is going to be completely opposite of you. I'm like, man, this is why we do this. This is awesome. The truck race was great. And James, I know you disagree, but my only problem with the Bristol Dirt race is the fact that we do it at Bristol. I think the race was good. I think the track was much better this year. It helps when you don't get, 2 weeks of rain within a 48-hour period. Mm-hmm. They did get rain, but not enough to wash it out. Not enough to flood all the campgrounds this year. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I thought the racing was really good. I thought we saw a wide groove. We saw, I don't know. We saw a wreck at the end. We saw, I don't know. I think we saw everything we want to see out of a race. And I tell you what,
progressive banking seemed to work for the most part.
Tell me the last April Bristol race on concrete that was better than that race.
Any race on concrete at Bristol is better than that.
Nope. Disagree 100%.
Sorry, man.
100% disagree. But I don't think we need to waste our time putting dirt on it when we got a dirt track over in the Midwest where we just took a bunch of races away that you could easily take the money that obviously it's two different companies, but you could easily take the money that we're spending on dumping a ton of dirt or tons of dirt, I guess, on a racetrack and double grandstand capacity and run a race there. So,
well, I'll tell you, as many people that showed up to this race on Sunday, I mean, that's just a full house at Eldora. So
I'm with you. I know that, when your track seats 160,000 at a half-mile racetrack, when 160,000 people don't show up, it looks empty. But that was not better than a typical April. Well, I don't know, because haven't we run April without opening the backstretch before?
Yes, we have.
For the Cup Series?
A few years ago.
So maybe it wasn't bad. Maybe it was average for an April. I mean, shoot, James, when you schedule a race on Easter Sunday, you're not expecting a walk-up crowd anyway. You're expecting the TV crowd.
That's right. That was a made-for-TV event. They weren't they were not in the business of selling seats for this one. They just wanted to get the show on TV.
Yep.
Which, I don't know. I haven't seen the number. Obviously, we're recording a day early.
Right.
Thank you, Eric.
No problem.
for working through my schedule. But I think later this week we're going to see I'm just curious to see what the ratings are. I think the rain delay is definitely going to mess with it a little bit. But Eric, it's hard for me to disagree with you that the race was pretty solid when we did have some good racing. There was cautions and silly things that happened, but that's what happens when you put the Cup Series on dirt. You're going to have some silly things from time to time, but the racing was solid.
Well, I don't know I don't even notice, but we ran them on pavement last year, several places, and did some pretty silly things. So.
Oh, of course. Yes. We had some silly things happening at Coda not that long ago too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, the finish was, as frustrated as I was all night with a lot of things, the finish was spectacular.
Yeah.
I just think it was just great. You had two dirt guys, Chase Briscoe with no care in the world, and KFB backs into another one, as they say.
KFB.
I was a little disappointed that Kyle got out and didn't make any comments about the track because
he hates it so much. Right?
Kyle hates it. We have I'm sitting there watching him in third place, and I'm like, man, I want to see Kyle win this thing just because he hates this package so much or hates this track so much. And I figured we'd get another COT moment, Kyle climbing out of a car at Bristol and saying this sucks, and all he did was acknowledge the booze, which I thought was pretty good too. Anyway.
Well, I think these wins are getting harder for Kyle to secure here, so I think he's just relieved. I know how much the winning streak means to him as well, so he's got a lot of things in the bag. He's doing just fine. So, I thought for sure, I was with you. I thought for sure he was going to say something that he might regret, but he didn't go there. So I think we're okay.
Now next year, Kevin Harvick wins. Did you see the video of him and Brexton talking where Brexton was whining because he hasn't won in forever and it's been like a week? It's like, that's a little Bush in the making right there.
Yeah, he's gonna be just like his old man, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But no, I thought overall it was a good race, and one of the things I like the most about it is the fact that it's a shorter race. Unfortunately, the rain delay really screwed that up. It made it last a lot longer, but 250 laps at Bristol is pretty fun. And they could get around this track this year. The track was night and day better than what we dealt with last year.
They really did improve it. Yes.
We didn't have to run single file restarts.
Multiple grooves.
Yeah.
One of the things that impressed me a lot too was a lot of guys felt comfortable up high, and then you had somebody like Chase Briscoe who was just working the bottom and continuing to build momentum down there, and that was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think you get that with the real Bristol too.
Right.
But it was good to see it on dirt that it could translate a little bit as well.
One complaint I have, James, is, and I'll complain about this until they finally change the rule. We need the choose rule everywhere, because I was frustrated in the truck race because I of course wanted Ben Rhodes to win, and Ben Rhodes every freaking restart was in fifth and stuck on the inside. Finally, he restarted fourth, and that's when he made the pass for the win. You couldn't do anything. If you were on the inside, you were junk.
Right.
And unlike Martinsville, where you used to be able to play with the pit stops, there's no live pit stops. You can't do that. You're just stuck with what you got. And I guess that's what it is. Everybody deals with the same thing, but I don't know. I don't understand why we can't do the choose roll at Bristol. I get that you can't put a mark on the track, but do the choose with 2 laps to go and put an actual physical cone on the track. I don't care. Something.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think we should do it at super speedways and road courses too. I think that the choose rule should be in effect every race.
Yeah, because if you've got, especially at a super speedway, if you think about it that way too, you've got teammates, you can try to break them up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid idea.
Well, we did it at Atlanta and didn't hurt anything. So.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
But I don't know. I don't think enough people are going to scream about it, so I don't think it's gonna change.
No, not at the dirt track. I don't think they. The setup for the dirt track, they've got a good program in place with the trucks, and then you've got the heat races, which I think that just is very well done, sets the field. and then you've got a nice short show, which we could talk about that a little bit maybe later. Where, yeah, if you split the weekend up a little bit and you have a short feature on Sunday, that seems to be better, especially if we don't have a lot of rain. But
Right.
we had to deal with that a little bit this weekend. But yeah, it was definitely the length of the race. Again, you eliminate those rain delays. I think we're right where we want to be.
Yeah.
Most of the time, for sure. I mean, that's where I'd like to be anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, during the day, on Easter Sunday, James, I was with family, and we watched the USFL game.
Oh, geez.
And there were more people on the sidelines there than in the stands, so I think we did good at Bristol.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, the USFL, which has teams from however many states, and they're playing all their games in one location. Yeah.
Everybody was so confused there that the Michigan team is not in Michigan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so James, how were the heat races? 'Cause I'll admit I didn't watch them. I was really busy Saturday. I tried to get everything in, and I wanted to watch the truck race and Supercross, and I had to be up early for Easter, so I didn't even watch the heats. I watched the first half of the first truck one, and that's it.
Yeah, I caught a couple on my phone, but I mean the holiday weekend, and this is a problem I'm having too. Is this event being on Easter weekend is really, really difficult for people. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's just tough when you've got a family and you're traveling a little bit, and you can't really catch everything. But I did catch a few of the heat races, and I thought they raced just fine. I love the format. Cole Custer gets the pole. He doesn't even win the heat race, but he got passing points, which I thought was a great way to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought the cars ran pretty good from what I could see. I only saw, I think, 2 of them, just kind of in passing as well. Just checking on the highlights on my phone, things like that, making sure that I was somewhat paying attention to the entire weekend.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't catch everything. I'll be honest.
I didn't go back to them because I figured nobody's going to stack them up in these things. Nobody's going to do anything too stupid.
Right.
So if I'm gonna cut something out, that's what I wanted to cut out.
Right.
So,
right.
But I mean, it was good to have that option. I like the fact that they're done a different day, for the Cup Series. So that's kind of cool. Gives the people that show up for the truck race on Saturday night a chance to see the Cup cars race too, which is pretty cool.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I think we've got a winning thing. I just don't like where we do it. Unfortunately, I think this weekend probably solidified that we're going to continue to do it here.
Well, NASCAR's going to take him. I think we're burying the lead a little bit. We should probably talk about that finish a little bit more. But to maybe put a bow on the conversation of is Bristol Dirt good? NASCAR's going to use that highlight for the remainder of time to make sure that their agenda is being pushed. Like, look how great this is.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not, I'm admittedly not a fan of this. I quit on the broadcast, I think 3 different times, and had to keep checking back in. Part of that was Easter frustration as well. Like, I just wanted to go to bed.
Right.
So I was just tired. But I did watch, as is my duty, and was pleasantly surprised with the finish. I thought it was a great finish. And again, we can do this elsewhere. I just wish we didn't do it at Bristol. But NASCAR. Listen, I got to admit defeat. NASCAR does win because they got a good show eventually out of this thing. So
I think this car race better too, James. I think the fact that this is a place where the wider tires really helped. I think they had more
guys shifting.
Yeah, you had more stability. You had more options with this car. I think it worked well, except maybe the cooling issues. But I think if the drivers that had issues with cooling would have watched the truck race the night before, I think they would have figured out how to redo the front grille and make that fixed. Because I mean, if you didn't have air behind the screen, you're going to overheat. I mean, it's not. Didn't take a whole lot of common sense to figure out that that's what they did in the truck race, and those are the guys that didn't have trouble. So, or lead the whole thing. That helps.
Right. Yeah. Poor Denny Hamlin. Just I know he's got the win, but man.
Yeah.
Eric, he is averaging 23rd this season. That is by far his worst of his entire career.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
He's got his 4th DNF, I think, of the season. He's got a lot of work to do. But luckily they've got that win in the bank, so I think they'll take it right now and continue to figure it out.
So the tail end of the race, Chase Briscoe tracking down Tyler Reddick on his way to potentially his first Cup Series win. And coming into turn 3, he finally catches him and goes for the move. And
I don't know if that was a move.
If Reddick wasn't there, it wouldn't have been any better for Chase Briscoe.
No, Chase has a win.
Yeah.
So I think he just kind of said the hell with it and went for it, and it didn't stick.
Did anybody? I mean, there was no point where you thought that he's not going to go for it, right? I mean, I kind of figured no matter how far, no matter how far back he is, he's dive bombing into turn 3. You just knew it.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. Man, I know Chase Briscoe like screwed up the finish of this race, made it exciting as hell.
Right.
I know he made a mistake, but that kid continues to win me over with the things that he does.
Yeah.
On the racetrack. I actually tweeted earlier in the night that Chase Briscoe looks like the best driver in the series. He has flashes of like the best driver out there from time to time. Like you see it in glimpses. Because I was watching him early in that race, and I'm just like, man, that guy, he's not afraid to be different and try something new and then find success. Like he's working the bottom, he's shifting, he's just doing all these different things, and the way you're shifting on a dirt track, especially with no grip, I was just super impressed. And then Freezing Cold Takes has got one for me at the end, because he definitely came flying in and wiped out Reddick. And man, I hated it for Tyler, because that dude's due big time.
He still almost won it.
I know, he was only a couple seconds off the pace, or not even a second or so off the winning time. So
yeah, margin
of victory wasn't very much. Kyle Busch just had enough to get there right before he did. So
33 hundredths of a second was the margin of victory.
So there you go. Yeah.
I mean, it took forever for Kyle to get there. I didn't realize Kyle was that far back.
Those two guys were in their own zone, and Chase was tracking him down. Like it looked like he was going to lose. Looked like Reddick was going to pull away, and that was the end of it. But then Chase started tracking him down with like 5 laps to go, and getting into the corner.
He'd push wide in 1 and 2 a little bit, and then he'd gain it back. And
and then that last,
you knew he was close enough to make a dive. He was going to dive no matter what.
Yeah,
he might have not even come close to him, but he was going to dive.
Well, and Tyler Reddick said it too in the post race. He said, I didn't do enough. I didn't do my job well enough to get away from him.
Yeah,
which I think that was code for I was trying to I guess maintain the lead and keep it off the wall and not make any mistakes. Right. That's kind of how I read that.
I don't know why Tyler didn't. I mean, it's easy to go back and look at it and go, well, you should have done this. I don't know why he didn't take 3 low, because you take that inside away from Briscoe. Of course, he's probably just going to shoot to the outside and pass you, but at least he's not going to dive bomb you.
Well, and I think too, I think in hindsight, I think what he does there as well is he just takes the high line and lets Briscoe dive bomb and then crosses him over. Yeah. I think that's another option there. But again, when those guys are driving, when you're driving, the checkered flag's waving in the air, it's easy to be like, yeah, you could try this, you could try that.
Right, exactly.
Those guys are just trying to race, man. They just want to win.
I don't know. My move is stay low, let them have the high line, and then just run them wide off of 4, put them in the wall. Yeah, that's the move to me. But I don't know.
My move is back off early in the corner and then gun it low. Would be my stay high, gun it low.
My move would be my move. Put down the bag of potato chips, grab another swig of Mountain Dew because I'm sitting on the couch at home because I don't have the skill these guys have.
I mean, we're talking the moves we would make, and we're sitting here.
Never even driven a race car.
After the thing. Oh man, I did. I was racing on a dirt track on Forza one time, and that was my move. I needed to catch my buddy who was in front of me, and I just backed off the corner, and he dove it in too deep, and I just gunned it on the inside. So
nice.
I guess that's my move. That's how I'm gonna. if Forza says that it works, then it works. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Well, now everybody knows, James. So it's not a secret.
That's the move. That's right. That's not a secret on the dirt tracks. Man, Eric, this Kyle Busch, just backing into a win. I was really hoping he'd see my tweet, honestly. But he leads 1 lap Tyler Reddick 1 lap shy of 100, but Kyle Busch led the most important lap.
Yep.
Got it done.
Yep. 18 seasons in a row with a win. Ties Richard Petty on that front.
Yep.
And I mean, Kyle said basically, I mean, he's got 2 championships. Obviously, he wants to win a championship, but this streak's pretty important to him. And he's got her done nice and early in the season, too. Lots of time now to just click off wins, maybe make a run for that title again this year. I mean, he hasn't been title material,
No.
but some work they might be able to get there. All it takes now is being good once playoffs start. So.
Yep. And he gets to add to his list, which, you know, it used to be more impressive when our schedule was consistent. But Kyle Busch has the win on every type of, or every track list. He can cross off Bristol Dirt. He's got that one.
Yep.
I know he's got there's a few new tracks that he's going to have to try to get, but that's another one that I know he's proud of as well, that he's won on so many varieties of racetracks. So, you know, Eric, and I was going to say too, we've got this dirt race, right? Joey Logano and Kyle Busch are our 2 dirt track winners in the Cup Series. And that's it. Any explanation for that?
I think it's
dirt guys we're gonna win.
It's the same thing as the car, James, this year, and why we've got young drivers winning races this year is that I think the dirt guys know too much, and
maybe
it doesn't apply to this car as much. I mean, you heard, I don't remember who it was that specifically was talking about it. It might have been Kurt talking. I don't know. Somebody was talking about. Maybe it was Larson. I don't know. One of them mentioned earlier in the week that when you go sideways into the turn, it's all for show. You know, sliding the rear end out is all for show with these cars because you want them straight. You want them driving like an asphalt car. And I think that's it. I think the dirt guys are too used to slinging it through the turns. And that's just not the style that works with these. I mean, we saw it at Eldora too. Very rarely were those guys that were swinging way sideways the guys that were winning races or moving to the front. It was the guys that looked like they were on asphalt.
Yeah, I mean, we had Bubba Wallace win. What was it? The second one, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace won. Yeah, he was not a dirt guy. We had Austin Dillon win the first one, and definitely a dirt background. But yeah, that was when Bubba won. I was surprised. I was shocked because that car was that truck, I should say, was so good that day.
Right.
That 54 truck was pretty dialed in for a couple of years there. But I think you're right. I mean, we had 2 dirt guys that were going to win this race. One way or the other, and then Kyle kind of got it. But I was watching practice actually on Saturday, Eric, and man, it was a really great visual of a dirt guy and a non-dirt guy, and was watching. They spent a lot of time on Kyle Larson, and to see the talent gap between him and some of the other guys that were out there was just incredible. But I think you're right. Kyle liked it a certain way and was really running that cushion and honestly put his car in danger in practice because it was really impressive. It was really impressive for the most part. But just like when we were at Eldora, he kept pushing the limits and he even did it in practice and hurt the car a little bit. I don't think it affected him on Sunday, but that definitely ended his practice session early just because of the way he drives. And he did really good here in the Cup race on Sunday, but I just think that maybe you have some merit to that. You know, these dirt guys are looking for something that may not exist, where you have to go back to knowing that these cars were made not for dirt, but you know, they're raceable, I guess.
Well, and I can guarantee you that every single one of those dirt guys knew what that track was going to do and had their car set up to prepare for that. And when it rained twice and they had a fresh track twice during the race, it never got where they were expecting it to get. And the asphalt guys didn't know any better. So not to say, again, Chase Briscoe almost won this thing. He's a dirt guy. You know, Larson ran well. We had dirt guys up front. Austin Dillon was in this thing until he blew up.
Ty Dillon.
Yeah, Ty Dillon was really
race.
good. Yeah, I mean, the dirt guys were here in this one, but I don't think the track ever got to where they were expecting it to get, and I think that also helps too. And I mean, James, the other thing to consider is this is the NASCAR Cup Series. These guys are damn good. And, and it don't matter. It doesn't matter what you put them on. They're going to
race shopping carts.
Yeah. I mean, we raced them in a freaking stadium this year and they made it look like they've been doing it forever. So They're just good. And that's
Yep,
what
the
it comes
best in the
to.
world. That's right.
So I mean,
NASCAR drivers, F1 drivers, they are the best in the world at what they do. They're at the top for a reason.
and when you're Kyle Larson and you get beat by a guy that doesn't have the dirt experience on a dirt track in the Cup Series, you can't hold your head because these guys are good.
They're all good. I mean, I was like, Ty Dillon was up in second place, third place, top 5 for a long period of time in this race, and I was, we give Ty Dillon a lot of crap for some of the stuff that he's done. The Coliseum was a great example,
Right?
But his background really leveled the playing field a little bit for him, and it was really cool to see him up there and competitive. And I think he's kind of the forgotten man. I think he tweeted as much when NASCAR had their post about the dirt ringers and left him off there. He had something to prove. I mean, he's got the same background as his brother, and those guys, those guys are no joke, man.
Yeah. Hey,
so
Austin Dillon was testing NASCAR on dirt before we even knew there was going to be a NASCAR dirt race.
That's right.
He was the tester for the truck at Eldora. So.
That's right. Yeah.
Him and
The
Tony,
original.
right? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Racing an RCR truck at Eldora was the original test. Yep.
Yep.
10 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. The first Eldora dirt race was 2013, and they were testing that bad boy in 2012, I think. Or
I think
late,
so.
late
2012 was when they made the announcement because we decided we were going almost a year before that race.
I don't know where time has gone, but 10 years is a long time, man.
Yeah, we did it before it was cool, James. We were there before it was cool. Worth mentioning too, 60th victory for Kyle Busch.
Yes.
Remains 9th on the all-time win list. Got to get to 76 to move up and pass Dale Earnhardt, but inches a little bit further ahead of Kevin Harvick. So who's got 50?
Did you like his I feel like Dale Earnhardt Sr. comment
yes.
at the end of the race?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
He just knows what buttons to push.
I feel like Dale Earnhardt Sr. and I didn't even do anything. He knows, yeah. The thing is again, I mean, you can only get booed so much before it gets to you. I want Kyle to embrace it so bad, and he does a good job of it, but it bothers him. He still shows that it bothers him.
Yeah.
And I wish he didn't do that, but I mean, hey, he's human too, so.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of the NBA playoffs, and Kyrie Irving was giving the Boston crowd the crybaby face because they were giving him a hard time because he used to be a Celtic. Anyway, this is an NBA podcast. But when he was doing that, it just was like, I was like, man, that's Kyle Busch in a basketball uniform.
Right.
He's out there just kind of playing to the crowd as the heel, and it was I just think it's fun when you've got a heel, and honestly, Eric, I know we were sick of him there for a little while. Well, you weren't. You love Kyle, but when he was winning all those races, it was kind of fun because he was really, really embracing the heel back then. But these wins are getting harder for him to get. So I think he's just a little more relieved.
Yeah.
But if he starts rattling them off, look out.
The nice thing with all the boos is that we're nowhere near him becoming a fan favorite yet. So
that's right. No,
we still got plenty of time. Yeah, hey man, you gotta have the drivers that you hate just as much as you have the drivers that you love. If you didn't hate any drivers, it wouldn't be any fun. So,
if he does get to Earnhardt, I think the crowd will turn in.
Not right away, they won't.
Out of respect, I don't know, man. If he like Jeff Gordon got to Earnhardt, and I felt like that was a turning point. Like, okay, man, your greatness, yes, you welcome to the club,
dude.
Like,
if the stuff he does with Brexton hasn't turned the crowd yet. I mean, the dad stuff should win people over, man.
Nah,
and it's not.
It's all made for TV. It's all made for TV stuff.
Jeez, yeah, I don't know. We both got to see one go over. James Noah Gragson got pretty far up on two wheels in this one. Nice little
that
wreck
was a big hit. Yeah, that was a big hit. Couple of big hits.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch had a big hit.
Yeah, Kurt Busch driver's side into a non-safe or barrier wall.
Yep. A couple big hits for sure.
You mentioned Denny Hamlin finishes 35th, Kevin Harvick 34th, Ross Chastain 33rd, Kurt Busch 32nd, Austin Dillon 31st, man. Rough day for all those guys, especially, I mean, Dillon was good. Kurt was all right. Ross Chastain was right up front when he broke. So, yeah.
Yep.
Tyler Reddick still recovers for second. Joey Logano, last year's winner, gets third place. You mentioned Kyle Larson, fourth place. At least he didn't wreck out of this one. Christopher Bell, seventh place. Both those guys were strong in this. It's interesting because we saw guys up front, but we only had a few leaders. Briscoe with 59. Daniel Suarez led 64. That was
pick,
James's pick. That was a good pick. He ends up 12th. Kyle
well,
Larson. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, Eric, the rain delay.
Yeah.
At the end of the stage, we should talk about that for just a minute, because that was, obviously there was the scoring confusion, but we had guys gambling trying to win the race versus the way the system was. Then they had to fall back because of pitting and all those things. So,
right.
Chase Briscoe, for example, won that stage. Probably was going to win the race if the rain had come a little bit harder. And then it was all massive confusion, which at the end didn't really play out, but definitely played a role in how the field was stacked afterwards and setting it up. So,
yeah, I don't really know who to blame for the confusion with the caution at the end of stage 2, because TV didn't know what the hell was going on.
No, they never do.
James, you shared a video earlier of a fan who decided to climb into the flag stand during the rain delay.
Yeah.
And all I could focus on during that video was PRN making a failed attempt at explaining what was going on.
Yeah, that's right.
So they didn't know what the hell was going on. The drivers didn't know what the hell was going on. The teams didn't know what the hell was going on. And the people in the know are like, "What are you guys stupid? How do you not understand this?" And then you had Dave Moody, who was talking like he always does. NASCAR is always right, and how are you guys so dumb? I don't know.
And NASCAR wants the race to get back going. Like NASCAR didn't think this thing was going to end. That should have been our first clue that this race was not ending at that point, because NASCAR wasn't going to let it be that way.
Yeah.
The problem is I think the blame goes to mostly NASCAR, and then I think Fox has some blame too. But NASCAR it wasn't clear. I mean, there's a rule book in place, yes, but we should have somebody there to interpret the rules
right.
a little bit quicker.
I almost feel like maybe we could have. We knew it was going to rain at this point. Maybe we would have been better off just not opening pit road and not having the situation to begin with. Just say, hey, okay, we're going to pause for a second. We're going to run a few caution laps here, just see what it's going to do before we open pit road. Because I think it was pretty clear we weren't going back to green at that point. But good on NASCAR again. I talked about the track and the fact that it held up this year, but I mean, 2 rain delays during the race, they managed to first of all turn around the track pretty quick, which was impressive, and they kept pounding, man, and got this thing in, got the whole thing in, without any issues, really. I mean,
yep,
we didn't have to. I mean, the only issue I guess we had is mud on the grills at the start. That was it.
Yep.
And again, if Kevin Harvick and his crew would have watched the race the day before, they would have known that they were going to deal with that. So, I don't know, but yeah, the track held up. We didn't have any issues. We didn't have to go single file. I mean, all in all, it was a success.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It was, compared to last year. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Last year was as successful, I think, as you were going to get with what the cards were that were dealt. It didn't help that we ran it during the day, because apparently NASCAR had never seen a dirt race before. But now they figured it out, and like I said, I think this thing's here to stay. Unfortunately, fortunately, not to mention not just the fact that it's successful in the Cup Series and the Truck Series, but the fact that there's 30 other series that race here over the 2 months that the track has dirt on it. We're gonna keep doing this. So they're definitely making money, not losing money on it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting dirt down.
Right. Yeah,
So.
I agree. We are, for better or worse, we are married. We are married to this dirt. Eric, we should talk about one more thing before we leave the Cup race behind.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask it in the form of a question.
Okay.
The hell was Cody Ware doing? with Chase Elliott? What was that all about?
I guess I missed it. Did I miss that?
Did you miss this? Oh man. Okay.
Must have missed
So under caution, Cody Ware took exception to how Chase Elliott was
Oh
racing.
yeah, I caught the tail end of it, but I must have walked out of the room or something when it happened.
Yep. So he's roughing up Chase Elliott under caution, and then Chase Elliott was with the greatest dig of all time goes, "Who the H is that guy?" And I was like, okay, that's good. That's good, because Chase was really upset with how Cody was upset with Chase about the caution because they got involved with each other. I don't think Chase did anything wrong, honestly, but whatever. And then Cody. What?
Not only does Cody Ware
know your place, man.
Not only does he have no business to be roughing up Chase Elliott, but he barely has any business being on the track to begin with. So,
oh my gosh,
I wouldn't even pick him as my jackass because it's just inevitable that he's the jackass. I mean,
he's just I don't know. He just doesn't understand his place. I don't know, man.
That's what used to bother me about Corey LaJoie is I felt like Corey LaJoie was like that too. Corey LaJoie's really come around to me this last couple years.
He can drive, man.
Yeah. But yeah, and Ross Chastain did a little bit of this too, except that Ross Chastain had the talent to back it up. But I think he got there too quick, thinking he fit in with everybody, and you need to earn it. So, but Cody hasn't earned it yet, not in this series. Maybe in IndyCar where he finished well in one race, but not here.
Yep. Yeah, it just makes me laugh. Like I don't know. That is not your I guess area code to be messing with Chase Elliott.
Right.
I don't know. I wanted to ask you about that before we moved on.
Austin Cindric, highest finishing rookie in this one with a 16th place finish.
Nice.
Saturday night we ran the truck series on the dirt at Bristol. Again, I think overall good race. Ben Rhodes gets the win with a late pass. I already hit on it earlier. Finally got a restart on the outside.
Dominated.
Gets the win. Yeah, dominated this thing. Him and Carson Hocevar are the only two drivers that led laps.
I was gonna say, we should mention our boy. Michigan's own Carson Hocevar. Man, he's getting close. Just like Tyler Reddick, I guess there's some symmetry there.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Going back to the Cup race real quick before we completely leave it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the exchange between Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe at the end?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was classy. I really I liked it. You know, normally I think you'd want to see the fight.
Yeah.
But Tyler Reddick, I mean, kudos to him for taking it in stride, and Chase Briscoe. I think maybe there's a mutual respect there that we saw because, you know, Chase was able to walk right in and apologize. I'm really glad they got that on TV. I thought that was really cool.
It was cool. They stuck the mic right in there.
Yeah, and sometimes the fight's definitely a great payoff, but sometimes you get to see a cool, like, genuine moment like that. I actually thought that was really cool.
You know what that felt like to me was the Cup Series versus what we saw the week before in the Xfinity Series. You know, just more mature drivers, and I mean, both of them are young. They're both pretty fresh into the Cup Series, but.
And I think they're just guys. Everybody respects their talent. You know, they've come up. Both of those guys have come up not the silver spoon way, I guess.
Right.
Those guys had to really work for it, and I just think there's a mutual respect there. You know, Chase said it. I screwed up, man. Sorry about that. I appreciate it.
How many times is Chase Briscoe allowed to screw up and take somebody out though, and come up and apologize, and everybody praises him for it before it gets old? Yeah. Because he's done it twice in 2 years now.
It's gonna get old very soon. Don't. If you were to take out somebody like a Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin again, then I think we're having a different conversation for sure.
I think if that was Austin Dillon versus Tyler Reddick, I think Pop would have been down there with his watch.
Sitting on the top of the car. You had a good one. Pop was gonna take off his watch, man.
Well, they showed the video and it looked like he dropped his hand. It really looked like he was taking the watch off, man.
He was gonna be ready.
Back to the truck race. Disappointing for Carson Hocevar. Like you said, he's got one coming. He's definitely gonna get one. He's actually been pretty quiet this year. It was nice to see him run well in this one for sure.
Yeah. He's also extremely tall.
Yes.
I didn't realize.
Oh,
that.
Dude, I stood next to him last year at Dixie. He's a tall kid.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. That was the note. Something I noticed when I was watching.
Another strong performance for Parker Kligerman. I was really rooting for him, but he just didn't quite have enough there. Finished fourth.
I was impressed with Joey and Chase.
Yeah.
Joey had the pole, and then Chase, they came in and parachuted in for some top 10 finishes. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
We don't see those guys run trucks very often, so that was neat.
Yeah. I'm trying to think anybody else worth really mentioning.
Everybody finished the truck race.
It was a pretty clean race.
I know, for the truck series, which we make fun of for being a wreck fest.
Yeah.
These guys got through without any major issues.
Well, we did have the two trucks get stuck together.
That's right. That way, Matt Benedetto. Yep.
Yeah, and Austin Wayne Self.
Yeah,
which was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it like that before.
Yeah.
I've seen trucks get stuck together, cars get stuck together before, but not quite like that one.
I'm like, Austin Wayne, man, he's going at him. He was going to wreck him. And
yeah,
it wasn't his fault.
I know. There was nothing you could do. That was Matt Benedetto's whole career wrapped up into a lap right there.
No kidding. Stuart Friesen finishes 11th. Notable as a dirt track guy.
Yep.
I don't know. Probably not much else to talk about. Like you said, it's kind of a dominating performance. Still a good race overall. I think, Fox did an okay job of showing some of the racing in the middle of the pack. That's where the action was in this one. And this was, I think, the sign on the weekend that, hey, this might be pretty good when they're running 3 and 4 wide in the turns. And the track really did widen out in this one. They were up against the wall. They were right down on the bottom. I think this set a lot of expectations for Saturday, which, I think teams were ready for what the track was going to become, and it just didn't get there. So,
yeah. And the truck series, is the dirt track type of series now.
Yeah.
They've got enough experience with this.
At this point,
those teams know how to work these trucks.
I don't want them to run a ton of them, but I kind of feel like even like the mix we run of road courses in the Cup Series, I wouldn't mind seeing another dirt race or two in the truck series. Just it's really fitting for the trucks, And now that we don't just have the one,
back, for sure.
Yeah, now that we don't just have the one. When we had the one, it was special. Now it's just part of the schedule. I think a couple more would be pretty cool. So
yep. Yeah, and I should mention too. Ty Majeski was having a really good race.
Yeah.
Had some issues late, but finished second in both stages. Like he was a threat for the most part, until some of that stuff kind of derailed his day. He had an accident, got caught up in somebody else's mess really late in the race with only a handful of laps to go, and that ruined his day. But still a great run regardless. Got those points in the bank and got the heck out of there.
That is worth noting that just because everybody finished doesn't mean that there weren't wrecks, because we did have 8 cautions.
Yeah, there was a few. Yep.
So
yeah, the average green flag run was just under 12 laps. So lots of cautions. Yeah, we had everybody finish, but it was not clean per se.
Right. Let's see. Ben Rhodes won his 6th victory in 147 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series starts. Dean Thompson was the highest finishing rookie in this one.
Yeah, the defending champ. He's our points leader.
Yep.
He's already led more laps this year than he did last year. So that he's on a pace to. We've had 6 races. He's got 5 top 5s and a win.
There you go. It's a good pick for any race this year. That's for sure. Worked out for me.
Yeah, it did.
Max points.
Helped you. Yep, you helped you out. It was a big day. 60 points is
digging out of a hole.
Yeah.
Speaking of another track with dirt, James, we got a big announcement at Bristol this weekend.
Certainly did.
North Wilkesboro coming back. A couple of races this year. Some on pavement, some on dirt. Pretty cool deal. The North Wilkesboro revival is happening. We saw
track revival.
We saw the renders several weeks ago. What they're planning on doing. They say a lot of that construction hopefully will start this year. But like I said, going to race some grassroots racing on the current surface, and then dig it up, race on the dirt, and then repave it for next year. And then Marcus Smith credited Dale Jr. as one of the leading reasons that this is happening with the whole iRacing deal, which we concentrate on that quite a bit when that happened. It's pretty cool to see this track coming back. People are getting what they wanted now. James, let's support it. Get out there and watch a race there. To show them what they're doing is what we want them to do.
Yes, absolutely. This was I didn't think we'd ever see it, honestly.
Me
Eric.
neither, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was gone.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna get some grassroots racing, and we will see the truck series on this.
Oh yeah,
service at some point. I know they say the Cup Series and Xfinity Series can't have races here, but they take that with a grain of salt. I think they are exploring what this could be.
yep.
So yeah, I definitely think we'll see Truck Series out here sooner rather than later. But yeah, this is a great way to start. That dirt race is going to be kind of cool, and then they're going to put some pavement down on that bad boy. So we're going to get the full show here fairly soon. Looks like
XR Events is promoting this. They promote races on a bunch of the SMI tracks. August racing will take place with multiple series on asphalt, while October racing will take place on dirt before the repave in 2023. If you want tickets, northwilkesborospeedway.com is the place to go. And more information will be announced there as they have it. So pretty cool.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
like
it.
I said, I think we see the cup. I think we see the truck series here eventually.
Yeah, probably 2024.
Yeah.
If I was guessing 2025, somewhere around there.
The nice thing with truck series is, just same thing with the drivers. I think they can slip into a track quicker than it takes the cup series to get in somewhere. So who knows? Maybe next year even. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
they're
gonna
not doing this.
They're gonna have too much
this.
work to do it next year probably. But
Yeah. They're not doing this not to have these events televised either. Like they're gonna try to get a TV partner involved as well. So yeah, it's hard to imagine they wouldn't have, big league racing here very soon.
Yep. America's crew chief's coming back, James.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Larry Mack will be crew chief in this weekend at Talladega. Jeffrey Earnhardt. I talk about this like I knew anything about it. James put it in the notes. He's the one who brought it to my attention, so I'll give James the credit on this. Go ahead, James. What do you got? Anything else to add?
He's crew chiefing for Jeffrey. We talked about that last week, and it's his first time on the box in 22 years since he crew chiefed for Mike Skinner back in the day. So it's been a minute since Larry Mack's been on the box. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep. I'm not sure how good he's gonna do, but I mean, heck, they got a good car. RCR car at Talladega. Let's go.
Yeah. It's cool to see him back at the track this weekend for Bristol. How'd you think DW did in the booth, James?
It was good to have him back. One time, I'm good with it. I know he was catching a lot of crap. I don't care.
I thought he did all right. The problem that I have is that if you're going to have a guest analyst at a dirt track, you probably should have a dirt guy.
Yeah.
I like that Boyer gave him a hard time a couple times, which is good.
Vortex theory was definitely talked about quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought he did well. I think for being out of the loop for a bit, I think he fit in pretty good. I gotta admit, I didn't mind the boogity to start the race.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's nostalgia for Eric. It's nostalgia for
He
us.
didn't come in and clown it up, which was good. I mean, that was the problem with DW at the end. Is I felt like, and I don't think it was DW's fault. I think Fox was turning him into a cartoon character, and now they turn everybody into a cartoon character with their caricatures they run when they're going to be announced to be on the broadcast the next week. Dale Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to see him again. Very cool, but it would have been nice to have a dirt analyst in there. But I guess the next best is to put somebody in there that knows a ton about Bristol to talk about a racetrack that he knows nothing about.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, man, DW was just winging it at the end anyway, so
yeah,
he's good.
It was good. I can't complain.
I loved having him. I don't care if it's a little cartoonish. He had wore out his welcome at the end. But again, this is a one-off thing. So what? Let's have DW in the booth. I'm good with it.
And we go to Talladega this weekend, and I am looking forward to seeing Clint Boyer with Dale Jr. in the booth. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So how
did this happen?
I don't know. I can't believe this happened. Obviously NBC doesn't have the reins too tight on Dale Jr. to let this go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to only be good for them, right? I mean, he's going to lead into, I mean, I know that we've got 6 races or something left to go before we switch to NBC. But this doesn't hurt NBC by having him over here.
Yeah, and Fox says in the press release that they are thankful that NBC let Dale come spend some time with them. That's exactly what they say. And I think NBC understands what they have in Dale Jr. and he's more than NBC. He's an ambassador for the sport.
Right.
He's he's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame now he will be he's enshrined. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know we already had that, right? The Hall of Fame moves fast sometimes.
It took us an
But-
extra year, so I mean,
I know the dang pandemic. I know it gapped me for a minute. That's right. But yeah, so we have he he's one of the great drivers in the history of Talladega. He's a Hall of Famer. He's coming in as an ambassador. He's not coming in under NBC's banner. It doesn't matter.
right.
I love that they did this, and I'm thankful that NBC is going to allow it and give him some freedom. That's pretty cool.
Well, I think what this shows too, James, is that Fox and NBC. I mean, we've heard Mike Joy and Ricky Allen and stuff say things off the in interviews and stuff like that they're not competing with each other. They split the season. They don't compete. The Fox leads into NBC and NBC gets it ready for the next year and blah blah blah. And we all just kind of go, yeah, we know what the truth is. And it's no different than the whole Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel late night thing that we all sit here and go, yeah, they used to hate each other when it was Letterman and Leno. We know they still hate each other. And then for April Fools this year, they go and switch roles and go on each other's networks. I think it just goes to show that, yeah, there's not really a rivalry there between the two. Yeah, hell, you want to be the better of the two, but you don't have to be dicks about it. And who better to put in the booth at Talladega than Dale Jr.?
Well, and if you're NBC, you're getting the advertising of Dale Jr. being there too, because I'm sure Dale Jr. will throw it out there that he works for NBC and we're gonna have coverage in a couple of weeks, blah blah blah. So people tune in to watch Talladega. They tune in to watch Dale Jr. This is gonna be a win-win for all involved. I think it's a great idea. I love that we've got some synergy there. It's just great.
Fox did a really good job of focusing on what he did in the Xfinity race at Martinsville last weekend too. I thought they really gave him the coverage I think that he deserved. So, and they not that they've not done it in the past, but it seemed like they really went over and above this year, which maybe was because of this. Maybe that's what led to this. Who knows? But
maybe, yeah.
So very cool. But yeah, Talladega this weekend, James. NASCAR Xfinity Series, NASCAR Cup Series, both in action at Dega. One of my favorite weekends of the year. Anytime we go to a super speedway, feels like we just did this. Oh yeah, we did Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah.
But now we get the real deal. And so coming off of picks, James is still ahead. I did not prepare by pulling these up, but let me do that.
No, you're right. You cut me in half, man. You gained 44 on me. You're still down 50. But I texted you earlier that you joined the 100 point club for the year, and you only needed 2 races to do it.
That's nice.
You had Ben Rhodes and Kyle Larson, and you scored 108 points. I had Daniel Suarez and Matt Crafton, and a good day for me, but only 64 points. So you basically beat me with Ben Rhodes and got Kyle Larson for icing on the top. So good day, a really good day.
So a couple options here with this race, which we explored in Daytona. You can either pick who you think is going to run well here, or you can pick some random person because somebody random always seems to win these races. Mm-hmm. I will note that there have been a lot of Cup Series winners in this race. If you look at the last 10 races here, I think there's Brandon Brown and I forget who the other one is. There's like 2 winners in the Xfinity Series that are Xfinity Series drivers. But on that note, I'm going to go with a guy who runs strong on super speedways, even though he doesn't have a win here in the last 10. Maybe ever I didn't go all the way. And I'm going to go with Noah Gragson as my pick for this one, James.
Yes. I think he will do nicely.
He hopefully will bring me some points.
Yeah.
By the way,
right?
Xfinity Series is the Egg Pro 300.
Yes, there you go. Good work. I will. Man, threw me for a loop. Hold on, I gotta look at the entry list.
Yeah,
this might change.
Trevor Bayne is not in this race. I already looked.
Dang it! All right,
I already looked because I was gonna go that direction too, but
that's fine.
It's Drew Dollar in the 18 this weekend.
Oh man! All right. Well, if that's the case, give me. Actually, this might be a little bit of surprise, but give me AJ Allmendinger.
That's not a surprise to me. I think he's a good pick.
Well, Colleague seems to have a nice little has a nice little system for these super speedways. So I'll take the head of the fleet there to have a good day. So give me AJ.
Yeah, I went Colleague for Daytona, so that's not a bad choice. AJ's a good choice.
Yep.
I feel like he might be
flip flopped. I think. Oh no. Actually, I had Sheldon Creed at Daytona. Never mind. I lied.
You gave me the opportunity, man. I had to hit it.
I know. There he is. Yep.
Um,
Had to be done.
AJ's a good pick. AJ probably will be the pusher, but he's still going to get you points because he'll be in second at least.
Yep.
So, Geico 500 on Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series. James, I'm going with the low-hanging fruit on this one. I'm going with one of the restrictor plate aces in Ryan Blaney as my pick here.
Well, if you took Ryan Blaney, I was going to counter with Joey Logano.
That's a good one.
Ryan's my pick, but I'll take Joey.
Not going with the true ace and Brad Keselowski?
Not yet.
Hasn't shown you enough,
although,
right?
Well, he was really good at Daytona.
He ran well at Bristol this weekend too, actually.
Yeah, he had almost a top 10 this week.
Yeah.
He was really good in Daytona, but yeah, I wanted Blaney, but I'll take Jolo I mean, they'll stick together, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Joey
I'll have that going.
Joey will get you points until he inevitably blocks somebody in wrecks. So
until he flips over. Yep.
Yep. Fantasy League, James. How did the Fantasy League go this weekend?
Oh man, Chase Briscoe killed me. And Austin
7th
Dillon,
place,
actually.
man. You want me to tell you what it feels like up here at the top?
No, I've been up there enough. No,
I can brag, man. It doesn't happen very often.
It hurts. I figured you just forgot to set your lineup, honestly.
No, I picked every dirt guy I could dream of this weekend, and it worked out. Of course, it worked out better for Barron Speedway, who beat me and got the win.
Yeah, we had a tie.
Yeah, tied.
Barron and Tandem Draft Tona. So technically, you finished second if you think of it that way.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Only lost by a couple points.
Well, Barron and I have been hanging around in the back the last couple weeks, so.
Yep. So you guys broke through this week, and then overall standings: Faster the Grass stays in the lead. Green Eggs and Ham won second. Justin 713 third. I'm still there. I'm not far off. I'm in fourth, but I'm almost 100 points out of the lead. So I got some work to do here. I need a big weekend at Talladega to get me back into it. Eric, you are in eighth. So you moved up a little bit.
Yeah, I think both Barron and I moved up this week, so it's good.
I'm getting worried about Ranger.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him, man. He'll be coming.
He'll come.
He'll be coming.
He'll get here.
He'll come. He'll be there.
Shout outs. James, you got any shout outs this week?
Oh man.
Well,
I don't know.
While you think about it, I will shout out Clint Boyer this weekend is going to be driving Davey Allison's car during pre-race at Talladega. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Good on them for getting that done. Clint's pretty excited about it. So very cool.
I do have a shout out. There
you go.
I really liked the setup outside of the racetrack with McMurray and them boys. During the broadcast, I thought that was really cool. It looked good.
That's cool.
I was into it.
Wait a minute. Did you just praise Fox?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah. It was nice having people at the track. You had Roy Mack there. People were at the track for once.
Yeah. Let's do that some more. Nice of him to do it on Easter weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
I know. If one guy is going to have their Easter run, we might as well run it for everybody.
Might as well run it for everybody. Yep. That's right. That's right.
Now that I will reiterate, as nice as it was on Easter Sunday to come home and watch NASCAR race, let's just not do this.
Yeah.
Let's just leave this weekend free, guys. I mean, I know you're not going to. I know that now there will be a race every Easter weekend. But anyway.
I know. Leave my Easter alone, please. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. What'd you think of the bunnies on the wall at Bristol?
Oh my God. They were peeling off at one point.
Well, they don't
have a whole,
they don't paint anything on the walls anymore. They're all decals, just like the cars.
Yeah. Haven't we learned not to do that at this point?
I don't know.
Coming off the walls. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Especially at a dirt track where you're riding the wall. But again, we've proved that they don't know what a dirt track is. Let's see. Jackass Corner, James, you got a Jackass this week?
I feel like I should nominate myself. I don't know. I was pretty loud on Twitter. And when Fox said, NASCAR and Fox tweeted, "Get back to your TV, they're going racing," I tweeted no. Like I replied, I replied to them, "Nope, I'll see you at Talladega." And then I couldn't help myself. I had to watch the last 10 laps on my phone. So, damn it.
Yeah, I was getting some crap because of all the tweeting I did, but it's very rare for me to watch a race live. So when I do, I tweet. So yeah. I tweeted a little bit, and some of it was directed at NASCAR this weekend because of one particular moment. But unfortunately, we restarted and didn't have to worry about it.
I'm not a believer in deleting tweets either. So
no,
it's
me
there.
neither.
On my Twitter account, it says, "Nope, see you at Daga," and I definitely didn't follow that because 1 hour later I tweeted about Kyle Busch winning. So,
my jackass is Kevin Harvick for whining about track prep. The guy who doesn't know dirt complained about how they prepped a dirt track because he didn't watch the race the day before and figure out that he should put a different screen on the grill. Sorry, Kevin, you just sound like a baby.
Yeah. Oh, I do have another quick shout out, by the way.
Yeah.
Matt Kenseth completed the Boston Marathon in just over 3 hours.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How's that compare with Jimmy's time?
It was a little bit better than Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Yep. I remember Jimmy was trying to beat 3 hours and just missed it too, but it's very, very close. But yeah, Matt was really good in the age 50 and up division, and then I was like, Matt Kenseth's in the 50 and up division. That's not good.
Right.
I'm not ready for that.
That's depressing, actually. Really depressing. Man.
Crazy.
God, that is nuts. It's just as crazy as watching these guys that you remember when they started and now they're retiring.
Yep. I know.
It's insane.
I know. It's crazy.
All right, James. Well, if anybody wants to retweet your no tweet, where can they do that?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at TSuperspeedway on Twitter. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/TheSuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find old episodes of the podcast, show notes, links to articles we discuss, all that stuff, past race coverage, whatever you want. You can check it out there. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Facebook. Wherever you found us today, we hope you subscribe and continue to listen. We head to Alabama, Talladega, the 2.66 mile monster this weekend. We'll be back next week to break it all down. It's restrictor plate racing, but not because we don't run restrictor plates anymore, but it's the same thing. So anyway, we'll be back next week to break it all down, talk about who got upside down, all that fun stuff. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.